Well, it brings you here to the Met, where you still have 3 more performances. Tomorrow night, Saturday matinee, and then next Tuesday evening at the Met. You're doing the role of Zerbinetta in Ariadne auf Naxos. Now, you also did this role at Covent Garden last year in 2004, and there was a lot of press about that production.
Oh, yes.
Mainly because of who was not in it.
Yeah.
That was the production that Deborah Voigt was fired from, basically, because she was too heavy to fit into this little black dress that they wanted the character to wear. So, I mean, you were in that cast. You were wearing, contemporary costume and stuff. What did that? I mean, how was that? Did you feel the director was justified in making that kind of decision based on the look of the opera?
Well, what I think, I really like the director very much, and I don't know. You never know what people talk and what was the real reason for all that, and I can't blame anyone. And well, I think there would have been possibility to find a different black dress for for Ariadne. Well, that's all what I can say.
Yeah.
But I like the production very much. The opera was very contemporary, very different, and had no connection to the Vorspiel, to the first part
The
of
prelude,
Ariadne, the prologue. But the prologue was perfectly really set and played. I loved it.
But the whole story was told sort of in modern dress. People were
Yes.
not wearing ancient
Yes.
Greek and Roman garb or anything like that.
No, very contemporary.
What about the Met version that you're doing now? What kind of production is that?
This is just, for me, it's a production on a silver plate. It is so lovely. It is so wonderful, and it's such a great gift to be able to be here and to do that and allowed to do that. Because you're free. It's the story one-to-one. It's what Hofmannsthal and Richard Strauss wanted for this opera. And there are such lots of stories inside that you don't need to put anything else on it. and when you're free to play the role as it is, and as you learned and as you feel it, you have just big joy.
So you prefer that sort of thing to, weren't you in a Rigoletto production that
Oh, please.
had a kind of different cast to it, a different look?
Well, yes, that was really different. I'll tell you later. But before, I have to say, I really have to say, I heard the word Eurotrash a lot, and I know it's very common here. But you can't see it black and white, because there are modern productions which really they open up your mind and they give something new to this story, to this opera, and we really learn. And opera profits.
Right.
I mean, opera really, in general, profits from that. But I also think that we need our traditional productions. Well, if you want to see a Renoir or whatever painting, you want to see the original too, and you need to see the original, that you can see what
inspired the later, yeah.
Yes.
Right.
So, and also for opera beginners, it's really, really necessary to have these traditional productions.
Mm-hmm. But as you say, sometimes a
Yeah.
modern production
Yeah.
can actually sort of bring the story alive in a way
Yeah.
that seems more
Yeah.
immediate.
But what modern directors think of doing really, really strange things, like, for instance, we had in Munich this Planet of the Ape production of Rigoletto. And when you think of Rigoletto, there is no ape at all. And,
Really? Planet of the Apes? Everybody in
it was-
gorilla suits and stuff?
Everyone in gorilla suits. Only Rigoletto and Gilda were the only one, daddy and daughter, who were human. They came back to Earth, and there was a big disaster before, and because of time change, now a new population was there. We saw
Singing in Italian.
In Italian, singing in Italian. Oh dear, we saw rotten opera houses there. It was full of metaphors and things on that. Yeah, but I had to fall in love and want to make a family with an ape. I had the problem as Gilda. And I was not really, really happy about that.
Yeah.
Especially working 6 weeks on such an idea, you have nightmares. And and I'm sorry to say that, but the people know I'm not going to do that again.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, something quite a bit different tomorrow night as you go back to the Met for Ariadne auf Naxos, and a very classic production of
and
that
funny
Strauss.
and enchanting and really, 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 really wonderful. And I want everyone to come there, not because of me, because of this opera.
We're
Sorry.
speaking with Diana Damrau, the young German soprano, who is part of the cast of the Metropolitan Opera's production of Strauss's Ariadne auf Naxos. Now, you've got a Carnegie Hall recital debut lined up here in New York for 2007.
Oh, yes.
So you do songs and other forms of vocal music in addition to opera. And you've recorded a CD of songs by Mahler, from Des Knaben Wunderhorn, the Youth's Magic Horn. These are all based on folk poems, right?
Yes.
And folk songs.
Yes.
Any of this material stuff that you grew up with? You know, do people still recite these poems to their kids in Germany today? Or are they considered kind of old-fashioned?
No, but I think it's well, that's a pity that we lose a little bit of our tradition everywhere on earth. We should really keep these treasures, and that's why I love singing Kunstlied, because we have these wonderful poems, lyrics by Goethe, and all the romantic. I don't have the word now.
But
well, Goethe
Heine
and
and
his
Schiller
companions.
and, yeah, sure.
I mean,
Yeah.
all these writers, and it is history, and it is a different way of thinking, of living, and it's our tradition. We should keep it.
Right.
And it's the language. The language. I mean, it's so full, and now we abbreviate. There are these abbreviations everywhere, and the language becomes so flat, and we can express so much with this, the way of expressing our feelings and all the colors life has, and we have to keep that.
Well, you use the word Kunstlied, an art song, and there's both art and singing in these songs by Mahler. Here's a recording featuring Diana Damrau from Mahler.